Hello, welcome to the show, and start with men's soccer. Huge match coming up this Saturday, Denver at Omaha. Denver's 5-0 in the league, Omaha is 4-0, and Denver has not lost a Summit League match in the last 2 years. The Pioneers are up to number 4 this week in the coaches poll. They are number 3 in 2 other national polls, as high as they've ever been. Denver and Maryland, the only 2 unbeaten teams in Division I right now. Now this season, Denver has been tied twice, but they are 14-0-2 overall, and they pulled out this dramatic win over New Mexico last week in extra time, tied 1-1, 8 seconds left. Karsten Hanlon on the corner kick, and Andre Shinyashiki for Denver with the header off of a deflected header out in front, and that's how Denver does it. Pioneers win 2-1, and they beat Oral Roberts 2-0 on Saturday. Denver is 5-0 in Summit League play, and it sets up that battle of unbeatens coming up this Saturday at Omaha. Well, Denver has a player from Japan. They've got one from Brazil, and their great defender Reagan Dunk is from the state of Texas. But in large part, Denver is doing what they're doing with kids from Colorado. Here is Shane Carney with that story.
An athlete's home is where they develop their love for the game. They develop their skills in their backyards, an understanding of the X's and O's from watching the professionals on their living room TV. So it seems fitting that the Denver men's soccer team has risen to the top of the NCAA ranks with the help of a few guys who decided to continue their soccer careers right here in their home state of Colorado.
Kind of since I was a kid, it's kind of been a dream of mine to play for Denver. I grew up coming to all these games and seeing, Drew Becky and all those guys play. So kind of since I was young, I wanted to, it was a goal of mine to play here. And once I started talking to the coaches, I'm like, this is the spot, and I couldn't be happier.
Since taking over the program, Coach Jamie Franks has been pleased to be able to bring in local kids.
So for us, Colorado kids represent kids that we can watch growing up, whether they're 11, 12 and come to camp and then become ball boys at our games, and to just watch their growth and understand who they are as people, as young kids, to watch them go through ups and downs throughout their youth career allows us to have a better idea about who they are as people.
The current roster of 27 Pioneers includes 11 from the state of Colorado. DeVos and his fellow senior Karsten Hanlon didn't stray too far from home, coming from Centennial. Captain Sam Hamilton took a short drive into town from Evergreen, and junior Courtney Ford came down from Greeley.
It's the best, there's family, friends that get to come, and that's obviously means a lot to my family to be able to come down with those guys. When my friends that have been to other schools, for example last year I have a good friend on Gonzaga, when they came in to play, his family came, my family came. And then also it's just it's good for my family because my parents get to come to almost every game out of the year. When they travel, it's to away games rather than traveling to home games.
I get to see my family all the time. I get to have random friends or family come to the games, and it's cool to be a local guy, not just because you can have family and friends come watch, but just because you're playing for your hometown and your state. I mean, I live 15 minutes away from campus, and just knowing that Colorado is kind of always been my home, it's pretty cool.
While Coach Franks will continue to look for players right here in the state of Colorado, he and his staff still make sure they are bringing in the right players.
Yeah, I just don't think it's the best players in the Colorado. It's more of the right players. And for us, we take great pride in the recruiting process. That's where I think the success has come from. We're not just going to the field and saying, wow, that's a good soccer player, let's add him to the group. I think we do a lot of homework on the kids.
Women's soccer coming up next. South Dakota State's head coach with some words about his team being on the brink of a regular season Summit League championship.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn.
Welcome back now to women's soccer in the last games of the regular season coming up this Friday and Sunday. South Dakota State plays IUPUI, and SDSU win would give the Jackrabbits the outright regular season championship. And the Jacks were cruising along until last Friday when they went to Omaha and the Mavericks beat them 1-0. Noke Dumba scores off the corner kick, and it's the only shot on goal allowed by the Jacks, but Dumba makes it count for her first goal of the season, and Omaha picks up a win that keeps them in playoff contention. Meanwhile, South Dakota State goes home on Sunday to take on Denver, and look at this save by Denver's Brittany Wilson. Had it the whole time. And another good look at that one from behind the net. Wilson keeps South Dakota State out of the net through the first 57 minutes of this match, makes save after save after save, but get to midway through the second half, and the Jacks keep the pressure on. Big mess out in front of the net. Nicole Hatcher cuts in and gets the goal for South Dakota State. Hatcher now with 20 points. That is third in the league right now. South Dakota State gets a late goal from Tori Poole, and SDSU beats Denver 2-0, and with that, they are the first team to clinch a spot in the postseason tournament.
There's a little bit of that pressure off our shoulders that we've qualified, but Friday is going to be a senior night. We'll recognize the quality seniors that we've had come through our program and try to honor them in some small way. It's a chance to win a regular season championship, lock up the #1 seed for the tournament. So there's a lot riding on this game. We know IUPI also has a chance to still get in the tournament, so they're going to come with a lot of tenacity to play a tough game. But I think we'll have a lot of positive energy coming into that match.
Well, yes, IUPUI still in the hunt for one of the other 3 spots in the Summit League tournament. The Jags with a win at home on Sunday against Western Illinois. Tori Minnick with the 25th goal of her college career and her 8th goal so far this season. And then Minnick with an assist on this goal by Marina Clark. First goal of the season for Clark, and the Jags win 2-0. And IUPUI will play at South Dakota State and North Dakota State coming up this weekend. And speaking of North Dakota State, Holly Enderle, Player of the Week honors for the 3rd time this season for her, had 2 goals in a win over Fort Wayne. Enderle and Lexi Jones at Oral Roberts are now tied for the league lead with 10 goals apiece, and those 2 are tied for the league lead in points with 21. Haley Shelton at Omaha is the Defensive Player of the Week, also the 3rd time this year for her. She had a save on a penalty kick in that 1-0 win over South Dakota State. Shelton is 2nd in the league in total saves right now with 81 in 13 games. Well, we talk a lot about the Denver men's soccer team, but the Denver women have a chance this year to get back into the Summit League tournament. The Pioneers have a head coach who's been there a long time and truly treats his team as a family. Here again is Shane Carney in Denver.
He has coached the Denver women's soccer program for 25 years. He has won multiple league titles and coaches awards, and included in Coach Hooker's resume is chef for at least his Pioneers every Tuesday night throughout the season.
I think it started, maybe 5-6 years ago with preseason. Turned into Taco Tuesday with this group. I think with this senior group that kind of started that, and they named it whether we were having tacos on the Tuesday or not. Sometimes it would be, some tri-tip and salmon, and we'd still call it Taco Tuesday.
Opening his house to the whole team has been a way for Coach Hooker to ensure there's a strong bond within the team, and the players can feel like they have a home away from home.
To have the opportunity to have a home-cooked meal, a lot of the girls are from out of town, and so they don't get to see a home or a family environment as often as I'm sure they would like. So this is just it's a great environment and a way to kind of escape the school life and feel like you're at home for a night.
Like you really see the family aspect here of, after school we all get together, we eat tacos, talk and bond with each other and the coaches and play games, and it's just it's an experience that I don't think you'll get, at everywhere in the country.
As for seeing Coach Hooker running around the kitchen rather than the sidelines of a soccer pitch, the team thinks it's fun to be able to see another side of him.
I think a lot of players, especially D1, don't get to see another side, kind of that family, loving, nurturing side of a coach, and this definitely shows it. And he's a great chef, that's for sure. His meals are incredible, and it's a good way to get to know him outside of the field, and it builds comfort with the coaches.
There is no doubt from coaching out on the field to his cooking at home, Coach Hooker has developed a family-like culture each one of his players will be able to cherish for years beyond their time at DU.
Apart from the student and the athlete part, this is just, icing on the cake is just, the girls and the friendship aspect, and this is really where you get, you know, most of your friend groups and friends here, and it's just like nice, you know, all get all together, and you know, we don't all have to necessarily be talking about soccer or whatever. We all just get to hang out, and you know, it's something I definitely look forward to.
You know, when there's no classes in the preseason, it's you know, a place where we can have some meetings before and after and talk about, you know, some team goals and concepts, and have just kind of have people speak freely. And similar to what we did in Vail, we, you know, had a little puzzle contest, and you know, and just do different things like that. So it's been wonderful, and they respect our house a lot, and you know, they'll come in and help, and they'll clean up before they leave, and everything like that. And at the end of the day, it just it makes you feel really good about being able to help them out.
Well, there is a pretty good chance that Jeff Hooker will be in the Summit League Hall of Fame someday. And yes, there will be a Summit League Hall of Fame. Commissioner Tom Duple made that announcement last week as part of the celebration of the 35th anniversary of the Summit League. And the first Hall of Fame class will be announced in March of next year. Volleyball coming up next. And you know who's good again this year? Fort Wayne. After a couple of down seasons, the Dons are back as a Summit League contender. Welcome back. Now to volleyball. And how about Fort Wayne this year? There was a time not long ago, a 4-year stretch from 2009 to 2012. The Dons played in 3 Summer League Tournament championship games, won the tournament title twice. And after back-to-back sub-500 seasons the last 2 years, the Dons are back up there this year, 7-3 in the league right now after 2 wins at home over the weekend. A sweep of Western Illinois on Friday night. Lauren Hoffman with 10 kills for Fort Wayne. She hits 500 for the match, and the Dons hit 356 in this one as a team. Nicole Reitnauer, 13 kills as they beat the Leathernecks in 1 hour and 15 minutes. And then on Saturday, a 4-set win over Omaha. 16 more kills for Reitnauer, 14 kills for Summer Johnson. Fort Wayne with 6 service aces in the match, and the Dons beat the Mavericks 3-1. So again, they are 7-3 in league play, 3rd place right now behind South Dakota and Denver. Denver, meanwhile, has won 4 straight matches. They get a road win at South Dakota State on Friday. Ashley Beener doing her thing for the Jackrabbits, a match-high 14 kills. And Denver doesn't have anybody with more than 8 kills, but they have 6 players with at least 5 kills in this match. Nola Basie getting up for a couple of them. And Denver beats South Dakota State 3-0. The Pioneers have a 4-game win streak going. And the only team with a longer win streak than that is Denver. Denver right now is IUPUI, The Jaguars have won their last 5 in a row. 3 of those coming last week. Player of the week, Alexis Mapes, sets career high 61 assists and 20 digs in a win over Fort Wayne, and she averages a gaudy 11.45 assists per set for the week. And while she was setting, Abby Boatman was blocking for IUPUI. Sophomore middle had 6 blocks against South Dakota State, 13 blocks in 3 matches, and Boatman is 3rd in the league right now, 1.13 blocks per set. Coming up next, basketball. IUPUI working in some transfers this year, working through some injuries right now as well. And listen in on practice as TJ Otzelberger gets after his guys at South Dakota State. Welcome back. Basketball season is almost upon us, and one of the most interesting men's teams to keep an eye on this year is going to be IUPUI. The Jaguars have a preseason first-team All-Summer League player in Darrell Combs. He led them in scoring last year, just over 16 a game. They have TJ Henderson and Matt O'Leary and Evan Hall and Aaron Brennan, all those guys back from last year. They have 2 other guys back, DJ McCall and Josh James, who played 2 years ago but sat out last year. And then they have Ron Patterson, a transfer from Syracuse, and Kellen Thomas, a graduate transfer from Kent State. And somehow third-year coach Jason Gardner needs to figure out how to get the right 5 on the floor and keep them all healthy.
You know, we got some banged-up injuries as far as just the normal wear and tear on the bodies, but overall I think the guys are competing. I think they're playing hard. I think they're trying to fight through some injuries that they got going on. So pretty proud of and pleased with them.
Well, the Jags open the season November 11th at Eastern Kentucky. And meanwhile, there are two new men's head coaches in the league this year, Rodney Billups at Denver and TJ Otzelberger at South Dakota State. Here is a little listen in on how Coach Otz conducts practice with the Jackrabbits.
Call it early. Again, ball, help, shot, blue, hole. We got to talk. If we care about winning, let's talk. Great job, TK. Last thing I want to talk about on that last possession, Cole made the behind-the-back pass, all right, to Lane. And because we did a good job with ball pressure, this pass came here. Here's where it went for Lane. That wasn't a catch and shoot. That was due to the fact that we had two guys who had active hands on the ball. That's not a rhythm three now. Now we take them out of it and we load the defense. Fouling on the perimeter is worse than a blow-by drive. At least in a blow-by drive, they have to finish. Fouling is worse. Do not foul. Foul, here we go. Hey, everything was great. Everything was great till we fouled, Cole. You bailed him out. He jump up to right here. Lane did a good job. He was in the gap, got back. Make him make this shot over a contested hand. The officials are going to call this right here. So like Coach said, do not lunge. He drives it. We've guarded for 20 seconds, and now I do one of these, dislodge him, and foul him on the shot. All right? That's a quitter's play. The play we need to make is to give an unbelievable effort, bouncing, taking an angle, and Reed's coming from that weak side, making an athletic play on the ball, okay? Keep your butt down. Beat him to a spot, man. Beat him to a spot. He drives, go ahead. I'm not on his hip. I'm beating him to a spot. Beat him to a spot, bounce, beat him to a spot. One spot. We want the ball out of the 10-foot zone, taking contested mid-range shots. What would that take? Great communication. Great communication. That's what we need all the time. Here we go. Here we go, one. Hey, don't let him big boy you though. Get your chest out. Get your chest out. Stay in there, worry about the ball first, close out to your man second. We'll have somebody here. Think about it. When your man is standing right there, we're gonna have a stunt guy that can come here to help you out on the catch and shoot. Do a great job impacting the ball, and then make sure great closeout angle. Here we go. The first three, we were the aggressor. They didn't want anything to do with us. Now they're getting comfortable. Get them uncomfortable again. They've hit threes, 3 of them, but it's more because they're comfortable. All right? Stay on kill mode. Come on, man. Hey, Chris, you got to have more, man. Every possession, we're trying to win.
Skyler, I love it, Skyler. Get there. Here we go. I'm back. Come here.
Hey, hold on. We got all in rotation. Nothing was perfect, but what happened? We did a great job getting matched up. Adam Dykman makes an unbelievable effort play to go get the ball. That's big time, Adam. That's
scramble. He scrambled the box out.
Well, up next, the importance of good advice and the value of a great academic advisor. They have one of the best for their student athletes at Denver. His story coming up next.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn.
Welcome back. Summit League athletes seem to get it. You are a student at your school. You got to go to class, got to have an academic plan, and fortunately there are some great advisors on our Summit League campuses like Mr. Grauberger at Denver.
When a Denver men's soccer freshman takes their first steps onto campus, they are fortunate enough to have someone to rely on not only on the pitch, but also with the direction of their academics. Since Coach Jamie Franks stepped into his role as leader of the program, he has made academics a constant priority for his players and has entrusted Greg Grauberger to be the guy to put them on the right direction, starting from first campus visit all the way to graduation.
So for us, for Greg to watch him at 15, 16 years old and kind of have conversations with what they might want to do, and to make sure that we have somebody across campus that's looking after them every single year and making sure that they get the correct majors and the correct minors and the correct internships and the correct career fairs, it means a lot to us. And I think our guys really, really trust him. And for us, it's just been a great relationship that we've cultivated over the years.
Would they be amenable to you doing it for credit?
I would imagine so. Yeah,
Sure.
They were very
Being the director of advising at Daniels College of Business, Grauberger has plenty of practice advising young adults, considering he meets with hundreds of students every year. What sets him apart is his understanding of the demands a student athlete must face.
So I think it's a privilege to be a student here as well as a student athlete. And I think that to do those effectively, you have to really manage your time. We try and line things out in a way where we understand and help them understand this is what you need to do to be this major, and this is the kind of coursework you need to take.
What's been your favorite class?
It's the student-athlete experience. So for us, there's an academic piece, which is the most important piece, and Greg plays a large role in making the kids understand the challenges that are ahead, the options for the different majors that they can have, and ultimately and more importantly, what they're going to do after college.
It is safe to say Grauberger has a devotion to helping all student-athletes achieve success, but also growth in all areas of life.
Every time I've talked to him, he always keeps up with the team. He's always interested in what's going on, like how practices are going, how Jamie's doing. And it's just a good resource to have, especially academically, just to have a guy that you trust and that you can go to talk to whenever you need help with something.
It's a great reward, and my day every year is seeing them walk across the stage of graduation. It's really neat seeing the 15, 16-year-old come in here and then turn into a 22-year-old who's all grown up and really blossomed in every aspect of their life.
And a big thanks to Shane in Denver and all of our Summit League correspondents. See you next week.